AT have the jurisdiction of safety on the footpath. So there you go. That's what Jack's telling us, the board member. AT has the jurisdiction of safety on the footpath. And given the letter may have been wrongfully issued to the tenant. May have been. No, it fucking was, because it's addressed to Boulevard Motors. It's not addressed to the landlord. All right. Part 2. So, where were we? On the email from the 4th of December to Sally Woods from Jack Tan, Albert Eden local board member. Gee, that sounds important, Jack. The biggest safety has always been, spin us another one. While accept driving down the footpath is a police matter, we are not getting much movement here. AT have the jurisdiction of safety on the footpath, and given the letter may have been wrongfully issued to the tenant, like I said, you fucked up there, didn't you? It may be best to have AT encourage. Now, how do you do that? You know, do you whisper sweet nothings in the ear of the landlord, or is there something else you do? Some sort of, encourage of compliance? Bit of a handoff? God knows what you guys get up to behind closed doors, because you certainly don't like transparency. Hey, Sally, it may be best to have AT encourage the landlord to remove the fence so that the tenant can actually legally use the right-of-way properly for his operations. Let me know what can work here. Kind regards, Jack Tan. Well, what can work here is Sally Woods pulling her head either out of the sand or someone else's you-know-what and doing something about it instead of just crying in a hidden corner somewhere behind closed doors, afraid you're going to get filmed again. Because clearly you don't want to talk to John. Perhaps I should email you and ask you if you want a meeting. In fact, I'll put it out there now in this video. Sally, would you like me and John to have a meeting with you? In fact, Sally, if you're upset with seeing us in person, perhaps we could do a Zoom meeting. Perhaps you'll feel more safer hidden behind a screen. I don't care if I see you in person, as I've proven before, but you tend to take offence to it and insult people when they're exercising their natural-born bloody rights and call it rude. So, Sally, would you like a meeting with me and John to discuss the still ongoing, not sorted matter of Boulevard Motors having exit access on Greenlane East? Because that's what it boils down to. You send a letter, apply to court for an order if the landlord doesn't want to solidly mount those fences to prevent egress and ingress from Greenlane East, then that would solve the problem. All right? That would ensure public safety of those school children that Jack mentioned. So do that. Okay, Sally? So that was from Jack on the 4th of December. Sorry I split that over to the second part, but I do babble on sometimes. Some people might find it an appealing fact. I don't know. Friday the 5th of December, where we have from Sally to Jack. Kia ora, Jack. Ka pai there, Sally. Jade and I, that would be Jade Sunderland. Is it Sunderland? Let's just check my files. Jade Sutherland. This is Jade and I will meet with AT to see what tools we have available to encourage this change. Bureaucratic bullshit. And you're all paying for their fucking wages. We'll come back to you next week. Let's not forget, the fence is now being sorted. All right? The fence was done on the 2nd of December. It was the 2nd of December, just before I fucked off, because I spent the 4th packing everything, getting ready to leave at 5:30 in the morning on the 5th. So I filmed that on the 2nd of December, them screwing the hinges and securing the gate in place. All right? That's when it was completed. So to encourage this change, we'll come back to you next week once we have more input from them. Got to wonder how they accept that input, really? Is it a bending over type situation? Is it communications? Because you know how to talk to each other, but you certainly don't know how to get back to John with any sort of frequency. You hide behind each other like a bunch of fucking scared little girls. No offence to other girls, but still. Then on the 8th of December, the following Monday, and this is when it all happens, people. On the following Monday, the 8th of December, from Jack, we had to Sally. Subject, and of course they're putting the link of my video as the subject. Thank you, Sally. Talk soon. So that's his fully intense, fully inclusive response. Thanks, Sally. Gee, Jack, I can see why you're a board member with that kind of communique. Then, of course, from Sally back to Jack Tan, and she even CC'd old Jade Sutherland into this one. Kia ora, Jack. We met with AT this morning. Fucking good job, Sally. And they confirmed that the work has been done to provide access through the rear entrance to the property. What? The rear entrance? Are you suggesting there's a front entrance? Because there fucking isn't. Through the only entrance. Let's get that correct. Through the rear entrance, so there will be no need to cross the footpath. No need. There's been no need, if they didn't have a fence there for the last 2 years, for them to illegally commit offences on a daily basis under Rule 2.13. There'd be no need for any of that to happen if AT had actually done their job, exercised their jurisdiction, instead of pussyfooted around for 2 years and caused a massive upset in John's life, because AT's inaction caused those two to clash, have an argument, and then all sorts of shit and false allegations get made. Just my opinion. Don't want to, cause any offence in the court. That's certainly not my intent. And if I do, I apologise. The owner of Boulevard Motors and the landlord have been working cooperatively with AT to get this fixed. I'd like to point out that AT, the council, the landlord, and Dean have only been working together because John fucking brought it up in the first place. Everybody was happy to stick their head in the fucking sand and let illegal shit just continue. And some people might say, what's the big fucking deal? Tell that to me after your kid's been run over on the sidewalk from people illegally accessing it. Alright? You ask other people that have had kids hit on the sidewalk from people illegally driving on the sidewalk, and you ask them, what's the big deal? Then get back to me. Alright? Because it may not affect you until it does. So yeah, moving on from that riveting email from Sally to Jack. Jack then responds on the 8th, the same day. Fuck, this is pretty quick, fucking snappy responses there. Fucking wish you could manage that with actually customers. Jack says, hi Sally and Jade. At this point, I'd say that it's all sorted. Really, Jack? It's all sorted. What have you done to protect the pedestrians and those school kids you were talking about in your earlier communiques? What have you actually done to stop the possibility of those illegal activities continuing, regardless of the gate being there? Not to mention that it's been used as a car park for the last 2 years because of all of your guys' inactions, and it's going to continue to be so. In fact, I do believe soon in a communique, John's going to point out that over 9 fucking cars blocked the driveway to that gate in the first day. Let's move on. Thank you to you both. This is a great outcome, and I hope Dean and his team no longer use the footpath for shifting cars on and off the car lot. What wonderful thing, Jack. You've got hope. You hope Dean won't continue his same activities that he's been doing for 2 years unhindered by anybody with any authority or jurisdiction to stop him. I don't know, Jack, with such riveting things, fuck mate, you should be the next PM. You should really go for it. If you run your councils this way and you're a board member and think it's all sorted because someone put a stupid fucking fence in a gate in a fenceway, did nothing to actually save the actual safety and security of the public by blocking off that Greenlane East fence line. No, you've done absolutely nothing then, but fuck me, according to you, it's all sorted. Thank you to you both. Great outcome. Yeah. No, it fucking isn't, Dean. No, it isn't, Jack. No, it isn't, Sally or Jade. But don't worry, they think it's over. It isn't. And then on Monday, of course, we have an email from Jack Tan, trying to make it look like he's just been doing nothing but helping John out by saying, "Hello, John. I've been chasing this since I get back to my desk at Auckland Council." Really? Where have you been on holiday? At taxpayers' expense? What, have you been busy doing other things by absolutely not solving problems and just emailing fucking pretty little conversations to internal fucking people? Is that what you've been doing, Jack? Because I have been chasing this since I get back to my desk. You can't even fucking put a sentence together properly. It's since I got back to my desk, Jack. Okay? Looks like the back gate is in place and Dean and his team should be using this back entrance from now on. Again, Jack, it's his only entrance. It's not his back fucking entrance. I hope you are happy with this outcome. John's response, he doesn't fuck around, he responds straight away. On Monday, the 8th of December, in fact, that was how long? 1:58 p.m. So John responds 7 minutes later. Fucking onto it, John. That's quick response time. Far from it today. 9 cars. And John's not the best speller, so, you know, sometimes he's like me. When you start typing quick, you do mistype things. In fact, we could perhaps cut Jack some slack for getting the got word wrong. You know, don't want to be too harsh considering we all do it. Far from it today. 9 cars. Cats. No, 9 cars blocked the entrance illegally parked at Armstrong Locksmith site gate. The size for a mini. You kept backing unlawful activity. Very disappointed in you, and you're not transparent. $1 each way activity. Don't contact me again. This has taken a whole new angle. You should resign. Cease contact. That sounds like John's extremely happy, doesn't it? But moving on, we're almost done. Now, if I move forward, we've then got, on the 8th of December, John then responds to him again by saying, "Last hour, go away." I'm sure he's meaning something else. Perhaps autocorrect's doing something there, I don't know. And then, of course, Jack, he then, forwards it to me. Right? Then, John decides to send Sally an email. This was earlier on the 8th of December. This isn't in the afternoon. This is at 10:19 in the morning. John sends to Sally Woods and CCs me and a couple of other people into it. "Dear Miss Woods, I'm sure you have a file on myself and various of my companies with dialogue I have had with Jack Tan. It seems Mark Keen's recent updates of this serious situation, you to say end of Feb that you will enforce action. I do not believe you. It seems the MPs are correct this time for you to go." Again, it's somewhat broken and hard to understand. "You are a disgrace." I understand that, but my inbox is getting message after message because John hears a lot from the local community about what goes on around Greenlane. "All I have from you is your file on me. You are a disgrace. Now we would like to have a sit down with you. Could you please arrange a suitable time? Time is of the essence, John Murphy." And then, of course, John tries again because Sally doesn't respond because she's not interested in talking to John. "Hi, Miss Woods, we have sent you an investigation," he means invitation, "yesterday to discuss a matter of importance which you to date have ignored. We would expect that you gave us an opportunity to discuss this matter with you. I understand this matter could be causing you distress. If it is, we recommend that you seek help." Serious help, Sally. "However, we are wanting a meeting. No more rebuttals, please. Time is of the essence, or is now of the essence." Good old John. Again, just trying to have an interview with Sally to find out why the fuck they're not doing anything with Greenlane East's fence line. Why aren't they interested in public safety? Why did they not give a shit if someone gets hurt? Why aren't they contacting New Zealand police, seeing they are being supplied evidence of moving vehicle violations or infringement? Why don't they do what they expect John to do or me to do? Are they not interested in it? And then, of course, the following one is from John to the customer liaison. Another one near rear-ended. I really encourage you to the matter out of time now is the essence. Could you please, within the required by law, the file full-on discussion with the landlord's tenants. In other words, John's meaning to do an Official Information Act under the Lagoima Act or under the Privacy Act 2020 to have the complete file. They can redact what they want, like it matters, and send that through. John wants to see the complete communiques and series of events to date, which he's entitled to. He is a party to this. He has been complaining for 2 years. I think he's entitled to some sort of fucking file to show how things went. Perhaps that's why he got sent the email, which has all of this in it. Who knows? Could you also acknowledge that you have received this email? See, because they're not even responding to him now. I'm going to have to show John how to put a failure to respond to notice at the bottom of his communications. You know, create a tacit agreement. If they don't respond, see if that makes them get their ass into gear, because it works for the Ministry of Justice senior solicitor when I talk to him. Then on the 9th of December, Customer Services or Customer Liaison, Jade Sutherland, our old buddy, responds to John with, Kia ora, John, I have reviewed the images and they do not show any cars parked on the driving along the footpath. Okay, so the videos we've already sent showing the illegal activity don't mean nothing, and as far as he's concerned, they've not been supplied anything. You know, it doesn't show them illegally exiting through what should be a solid fence line. No, that's not a matter for them, because they call that a police matter, driving on the footpath. Why? Because the car's moving. So perhaps if we stand outside that entrance all day, and when they try and move, they run us over, then the car will be still. Would that then make it their matter? What the fuck has to happen here? You are requesting a copy of this discussion between Auckland Transport, Boulevard Motors and the landlord. You will need to contact Auckland Transport directly. Okay, I'm sure we'll sort something out. Thanks very much, Jade. Right, then, on the 9th of December, John responds to Customer Liaison. What are concerning about driving on the footpath? Allow half an hour of your busy day and we will show you the audio we have and would look forward to your professional response. I await your response. Thanking you, John Murphy. The audio file we have, I believe, is from the landlord. If it's a different one, I'm sure John will tell me and I'll update you in a further video. Here's Jade Sutherland's response to John on the 9th of December. I don't believe an audio file will provide any usable evidence in this situation. I kind of agree with that. You need video. We believe we have responded fairly. Right. Unless there is a change in circumstances or you have usable evidence of non-compliance to share, we consider this matter closed and will not be responding further. We're putting our head in the sand. I also understand you have continued to contact Sally Woods directly. Please refrain from doing so. Thank you for your understanding. John doesn't understand that one. Go fuck yourself. As far as... what authority, Jade, do you have to tell the member of a public to stop contacting Sally Woods, who's been dealing with this matter, I believe, well before you have? Is there some sort of allegation of harassment? Because I don't believe that's happened. We, never have any intention to cause any alarm or distress or upset or concerns or, of nothing that would fall under the remit of harassment, because that's not something we want to do. We simply want, and we, I mean me and John, we simply want you guys to do your job fucking properly and look after public safety. That's it. At the moment, it's like talking to multiple brick fucking walls that just don't seem to get the general point. You've all been placated by a muppet putting a gate in a fence, and you've ignored the actual public safety issue. You actually believe that he's going to go and ask Armstrongs, who shouldn't be illegally blocking his driveway anyway, even if he gives them permission. You think he's going to go and ask Armstrongs every time he needs to move a car, and then wait for however long it takes them to move their cars in and out for him to legally exit and enter that yard through his only entrance? Get real. There's a reason they take the pole out in the front. I'd believe that if they concreted the pole in and made it a permanent no exit way on Greenlane East. But as it stands, you guys are living in fucking la-la land. He's going to take the easiest, most accessible way. The path of least resistance, people, which is driving straight out onto the fucking footpath illegally and using John's exit way on his neighbouring property. And he's going to continue to do so. And I'm going to go and capture it again. And then I'm going to supply it again. You know, if things boil down, I believe we have every right to stand on that footpath for as long as we want. Because we're not blocking a fucking driveway. Perhaps we should just camp out along that footpath. We don't have to be protesting anybody or heavy. We can just sit there all fucking day. And if he has a problem with it and wants to say, hey, you're blocking an entrance, what entrance? Perhaps that's what needs to happen. I'm more than happy to, when I've got nothing else to do, more than happy to do so. See what happens then. See who's the aggressor. See who's the one that's offensive, if there is any aggression, because it won't be coming from us. It's called peacefully trying to get some sort of fucking acceptable outcome. Anyway, that was Jade. What a fucking... You reckon you have the right to tell John not to contact another person. Only people that have the right to do that is police. Perhaps if Sally's really upset, she should contact the police and try getting a police safety order or a protection order or something. Why don't you show some evidence to prove that? Because John expressing his opinion saying you should fucking resign and you're useless, that's not harassment. It's a matter of fact at this point, because we've seen nothing else. It's only because of my actions and uploading fucking videos that any of this shit actually stirred up. You guys would have been happy for him to continue doing what he's doing. He would have continued not to put a fucking fence in the gateway, I'd lay a bet, if I hadn't actually exposed it. And then John hadn't actually shown you that the public are watching. That's the only reason all of you guys jumped to your fucking attention and did something. Because Sally knows from 10 years ago with me that I don't take shit and I have the law behind me, whereas she has delusions of privacy in public, thinking that, you know, it's rude for transparency. You know, you're not even going to go there. We have back to from John to Jade. Hi, because this matter is of public importance, I suggest you file in the District Court for an order under the Act. It's 353C. That's what he's saying. We have asked for an audience with Miss Woods and will continue to do so. So, up yours, Jade. Our evidence is compelling to hide the safety of children that you only decided to respond to when it was exposed on a media platform. Sorry, we are continuing with our non-combative approach lawfully. Peaceful. Got that? This is the only one complaint. Sorry, we will not cease. We will, however, obey any court order. Any application will be opposed. Your behaviour has been unacceptable. Please get some legal advice. Time is of the essence, John Murphy. Good old Johnny. That was his response on the 9th of December back to Jade from customer liaison. And then that's where it stood. Okay? Again, just in case you missed it, guys, here are the players involved. Okay, first off, Kyle Church. He's at customer liaison. Ali McKenzie and Vincent Nahi couldn't find any info of them because they're, you know, low-hanging fruit. They're not as important enough, no offence to them in any way, not as important enough to have a LinkedIn file or anything like that so they can actually be found. We have Sally Woods. Here she is, a little spunk muffin herself. We have Jack Tan. What a stunning individual he is. And then, of course, we have Jade Sutherland. All right. So those are the players involved. And, of course, the last email, I believe John even sent to the mayor. Actually, I'll just check and see which one he has here. Oh, that's right, yeah. The email from John on Monday the 8th that he said another one rear-ended, or nearly rear-ended, when he's requesting for a meeting. He sent that to Customer Liaisons, to send it to me, and he sent it to Mayor Wayne Brown as well. So he's also involved in the communique. It's amazing he's not been involved more, but perhaps he will be notified this time. In fact, all of the emails that have been communicating, you're all going to get a personal link to every single video involving this matter. And I'll make sure to keep you guys all in the loop, just in case you miss something. Until next time, guys, that's about an hour of my babbling on in regards to this, but, I've been gone a while. John has sent me all of this information, and I've just actually had a day or two to sort of relax, process everything that's gone on lately, and then have a look at what John's been sending me to make this video and update you all. That's all for now. Ka kite anō, and keep cool till after school. Bye.
I look forward to catching up with you next time. All the best.